everyone, welcome back to another session. And in today's session, I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to ask about the queries which pertains primarily to firstly about the Looking Glass event number 8. And I thank all of you who participated in the meditation which we did on the 30th of October. And I think we were able to stop the event of the Looking Glass number 7. So now we need to be aware of Looking Glass event number 8. And in this session, the Galactic Federation describes what the negative entities have planned to do. And it is related with not only with Elon Musk, but also with the moon. So I think you'll find it interesting when you listen to the session. Also, the other thing that I have asked in this session is about, is the entity known as Enki, who is supposedly a Sumerian Anunnaki being, coming back to our solar system, or is he already in our solar system? So this was the question which many of you had wanted to know, and so I asked about this in this session, and the answer is not only like mind-blowing, but also it's expanding. And I think this may be one of the most powerful audio ever received in the form of channeling from the Galactic Federation, because they not only describe about how the Anunnaki civilization they took part in the evolution of human society, but also they describe the full details of how it happened, how the first genetic manipulation of human beings was done. So also in the session they describe a simple method which we can use in order to firstly ascend faster. The basic method which spiritual masters in our planet they use. Now I agree that there are a lot of spiritual teachers out there, and also one of the things is we learn from different spiritual teachers different things, but in this session you will basically learn the formula which you can use to also become a spiritually aligned person. Okay, it's very simple exercise that they have given, and I think you'll understand when you watch the session. So with that being said, I just need to say thank you to all of you for liking this video, and also I want to say thank you to all of you for sending me requests for your past life, for your soul name, and your current life lessons. If you want to learn about that, you can send it on my email, and I will help you when I get free time. So with that being said, enjoy the session, my friends. Thank you.
We are the Galactic Federation, and we greet you now in light and love of the One, the Infinite Creator. And before we start to share with you our thoughts and insights, we would like to warn each entity who shall come in contact with this message through our consciousness to remember to align only with the vibration of love within the inner heart, which will aid each entity in this journey of transition and learning to ascend into the path of the fourth density consciousness. As the fourth density consciousness window is open at this time, many on the Earth planets may feel the distortion of the catalyst becoming stronger. However, these distortions are created for the purpose of teaching each entity the lessons requiring a higher understanding of the consciousness, which will allow each entity to fulfill their full realization of the true nature of the self. Furthermore, we, the Galactic Federation, must state that discernment is advised to be used by each entity who shall come in contact with our message at this time, for the perceptions of each individualized portion of consciousness depends upon the aspects of the inner vibration of an entity, and also based on the inner belief systems of an individual entity may create certain distortions of the mind space which will affect each entity's inner vibration. The first query placed by these instruments today pertains to the aspect of, is the entity known as Enki now in the solar system of Milky Way galaxy? Or is this a lie? We must state that this query requires a deeper understanding of firstly about the entity known as Enki. We shall address this query explaining in detail as the Earth planet is now currently ready for such information, which may be a powerful information for those who require such understanding of who the entity Enki is, and also a part of realizing about the inner workings of the mind space of the entity. Furthermore, we shall explain the history of the people of the lands of Sumeria as known by your people, which existed and emerged in the location of, as known in your language terms as Mesopotamia, around 4500 BC of your time-space measurement terms. This civilization was responsible for building large cities and creating many of the first systems of creation of writing and language on clay tablets during many of the archaeological excavations made by your scientists. These were discovered. Furthermore, the entity also known as Enki has its root in this place known as the Sumerian lands. The so-called Anunnaki social memory complex existed on the end of the solar system in a planet known as Nibiru, which entered near the Earth planet for the purpose of experiencing a better climate, and also for the purpose of requiring a reserve of technology for the creation of advanced technological healing devices. There was a requirement for a large amount of gold, and this gold was found in the Earth planet in large number at that time, and since gold was a rare resource in the planet of Nibiru, the Anunnakis used their technology to enter into the Earth planet around a period of about 450,000 years ago. In your approximate space-time measurement terms, where these entities became known as the first astronauts by your people, and they started to create cities and settle in the location of Mesopotamia. Furthermore, they were also able to create wonderful gardens and cities, which allowed them to work for the extraction of gold by using underground tunnels in your space-time. Furthermore, they also brought many of the other alien races from the planets known as Enki. And after many years of forcing them to work under their control, and they were humiliated, the entities of the Enki civilization were able to rebel against the Anunnaki forces, which led to a rising of a war on the Earth planet. The entities of the Enki population, however, were defeated and destroyed by the Anunnakis. And in need of new workers, they created a new race of intelligent beings able to work, but more of a subordinate level to them and the Anunnaki. In this creation combined their own genetic material with the ancestors of the human population, creating a hybrid, a submissive race at their command. And with genetic fusion, which they created the entities such as the Nephilim giants, and also the creation of the so-called first humanoid-looking beings. However, there was also a lack of self-control and intelligence in these entities, and later on, the first human entity was created named as Adamu, who was able to use capabilities of thinking and self-control enough to work for the Anunnaki forces. Furthermore, later on, the Anunnaki were extremely powerful at that time. However, over time, the human population developed the ability of speaking and learning from the Anunnaki beings. They learned to build their own civilization made of houses and other materials as found upon your planetary sphere. Furthermore, the Anunnaki became fond of the human beings, and they allowed them to live in the main city of the Anunnaki at the time. But also, the Anunnaki had warned the human population not to reproduce too much, since the process of reproduction would create overpopulation. However, despite the orders of the Anunnaki superiors, the human population at that time began to procreate rapidly, which led to the expulsion of these human entities from the main cities of the Anunnaki social complex, and many of the human entities were put under exile as known by your people. And the so-called planet of Nibiru approached the Earth planet again. However, at this time, the Anunnaki civilizations in the planet of Nibiru had become oriented towards the negative polarization, and they were in the negative polarity of service to self. And this population of Anunnaki social memory complex, which was remaining in the planet of Nibiru, created a type of war against the Anunnakis who were left on the Earth planet. The Anunnakis who were on the Earth planet were much of a service to others' nature. However, because of their battle, there was huge destruction on the Earth planet, and later on there were also many types of genetic mutation which was done. Furthermore, the Anunnaki population, including the entities known as Enki and Enlil, the entities furthermore returned back into the aspect of the original planet of the so-called realization of the planet of Nibiru, wherein the entity known as Enki, and also who was known as the god of the mighty ocean, as known by your people, along with the entity known as Enlil, who was the first Anunnaki beings, returned back to their original planet in the planet of Nibiru in order to try to stop the negative entities from destroying the planet's Nibiru completely. Furthermore, we as the Galactic Federation must state that The entity known as Enki and Enlil, as known by your people currently, cannot be traced upon your galactic system at the moment. Furthermore, if the entities known as Enki and Enlil were to come back, there will be a type of difference on the planetary population. Further, these entities known as Enki and Enlil, they have enormous powers of affecting consciousness of the human population. However, we cannot sense their presence at this time upon the solar system as stated by many of your entities. Furthermore, the entities known as the instruments desires to understand information pertaining to the Looking Glass event number 8. As known by your people, we shall now scan this distortion known as the Looking Glass and share with you the findings of what we can sense from our scanning system of the mind complex. We must state that from our social memory complex, we can sense that the Looking Glass events number 8, which has already been planned, is going to be an event which has a probability of 78% of occurring upon the space-time of 24th of November, wherein the entities from the Mars planetary sphere, the Anunnaki Orion reptilian gray social memory complex, is planning an attack on the moon satellites as known by your people, wherein the moon will be completely destroyed if this event is not stopped. This is a type of distortion that the negative entities have planned. As per the information in the Looking Glass, wherein they will use many technologies which have been produced by many of the entities of the social memory complex of the Anunnaki collective at that time of the space-time continuum reversal, wherein the reptilians or other entities may go back in time and prevents the moon from ever coming to the galactic system of the Milky Way galaxy. Furthermore, this type of space-time reversal will affect the entire history of the timeline of the Earth planet, and there will be a possibility that the moon will no longer be visible after 1 month of your planetary sphere if this event is not stopped by your people. Furthermore, there is another event which also is planned, wherein the entity known as Elon Musk plans to use its so-called Twitter application as known by your people to connect it to the reptilian social memory complex for the purpose of data collection of the human collective consciousness in order to replicate human memory. Further, the entity known as Elon must also be aware of this aspect, as it is unknowingly unaware and is being used by the reptilian social memory complex. The best way to stop such an event is via the process of sending love light energy around the moon, and also sending love and light energy to protect the entity known as Elon Musk at this time. Further, we shall now address one of the other query pertaining to what is the type of method used by spiritual masters to ascend higher in consciousness. We must state that we are now going to share with you a simple process, which is the process of consciousness training system used by spiritual masters in your space-time experience. This involves a focusing on a portion of your bodily complex such as your hand area, and taking conscious attention to all the fingers of your hand, and after sensing all the fingers of the hand, The same thing is to be done on the other hand, and after sensing all the fingers of the other hand, the attention may be taken to the legs area. By doing the same thing on both the legs, the attention will allow the leg area to feel and sense all the fingers. This will eventually be train your consciousness, and this is the method used by the spiritual masters in your planet to reach the highest level of conscious vibration tuning. Furthermore, we as the Galactic Federation now leave you, beloved, in light and love. Bye.
So my friends, I hope you have understood something from the session. So let me give you a brief understanding of what I learned from the session. The basic thing that I learned from the session is that in the Looking Glass event number 8, what the negative entities they are planning to do is, firstly, what they're planning to do is they're trying to work with Elon Musk. And I think what they said is Elon Musk may be unaware that he is being used by the negative entities. In a way, I think Elon Musk is unaware. Like many people, some people they may be unaware how they are I think used by negative entities. He's I think going to link Twitter with the reptilian social memory complex, and this is being done in order for collecting information, collecting data of our human population. I believe they want to create a replication of human population. I don't know how they are going to do this, but that's what they said in the session, and that's the Looking Glass number 8. And also what they've said is around the month of November 24th, there is a chance that the moon will be attacked by the negative entities. And not only attacked, what they're saying is they're going to change the the past reality. So what that means is they're going to go back in time, and they're going to make sure that the moon doesn't enter our solar system. Now I don't know how they are going to do this. They said that there is some kind of technology that they have. I believe it's like the the time traveling technology. I believe that's the kind of technology they have, wherein they can actually travel back in time and change certain events. So if they are successful, then our moon will no longer exist. Okay, so hopefully we can stop the event. And also in order to stop the Looking Glass event number 8, I will also hold a meditation just like I did for the previous month on a Patreon. If you want to join, it will happen on November 24th exactly, so we can stop the event. And the other thing is about the Anunnaki, like evolution. It was really interesting to know that there is a faction of positive Anunnaki beings as well as negative beings. So basically as far as I understood, what they said is that in the their original origins of the Anunnaki were in the planet of Nibiru, and what they wanted was gold. They wanted they wanted the resource of gold in order to do something, okay, in order to create some healing devices, I think. And that's what happened was that they found it on Earth. So a portion of the Anunnaki collective, they came to Earth, and they started to mining gold, and they started to create genetic mutation in human beings. And the Anunnaki who were on Earth were actually like they were positively oriented, okay. But in the same time, what happened was that in Nibiru there was a faction which was negatively service to self-oriented. And what happened was that the Anunnaki in the Earth planet, they had created human beings. They had created Nephilims using their own genes. And I believe that's why we became so advanced. In a way, human beings, we have advanced really fast. If you just look at the history. And also what they've said is, the human population rebelled against the Anunnaki, I think, control at the later time, because we became conscious, human beings became self-aware, and, the god known as Enki, I think what they've said is like the god of water, and there was another entity known as Enlil. So basically these two entities they were on Earth at the time, and they left Earth in order to go to Nibiru to protect their home planet, because Nibiru was controlled by negative Anunnaki forces. So they went there, and they said that Enki is not in our solar system. So I don't know, you have to use a discernment. They said Enki is not in our solar system currently. And the other thing that they have said is about simple method which we can use to raise our vibration, our consciousness, which is used by spiritual masters. I believe there are a lot of spiritual masters, but many of them they don't teach us methods. Okay, they just become spiritually aligned. They just give us some information, but they don't teach us the exact method. Okay, I have not seen many spiritual masters teaching us the exact method of how they became enlightened. Okay, but this is the exact method which is used. It is known as consciousness training. Basically what that means is to train our consciousness. So for example, what they've said, as far as I remember, in the session they said is that you have to focus on your hand. Let's say you focus on your hand area. You sense all of your fingers, okay, in this hand. And then take your attention to your next hand and sense all of your fingers in that hand as well. And then take your attention to your leg and sense all of the fingers in that area. So when you do this over and over again, you begin to have this power. You begin to detach from your mind, okay? And then this is, I believe, one of the best exercises you can use to ascend faster into the higher level of consciousness, and it will aid all of the people on the earth planet to ascend higher. So with that being said, I need to say thank you to all of you for watching the video. And also, if you want to get a paperback book version of the sessions, you can find it. The link is on the description. And also, if you want to know about your past lifetimes and about your soul name, about your current life purpose, and any other questions you may have, you can send an email to me. And also, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining me on Patreon, because we do meditations. I'm also uploading a channeling course on Patreon. So if you want to learn channeling, you can learn it on a Patreon. And the other thing is, we are also doing meditations on a Patreon. And also I upload 3 sessions a week. So if you want to join on Patreon, you can find the link is on the description. And with that being said, I just need to say thank you to all of you. And I think you will like the next video over here. Bye.